Actually, I saw you in your.
So I call the regular board meeting of the Lewes Board of Public Works for October 22nd to order. So now everyone stand and pledge of allegiance.
Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Silence, please. Thank you. We have the full board here. Mr. Curtis, Preston Lee, Richard Nichols, Bob Pepperman, myself, Amy Wasco, the mayor is here. Leadership general manager, Sharon Sexton, city general manager, and Mike Clark, our lawyer. Solicitor.
Esteemed council.
Chief Bucky. And so moving on to the consent agenda.
Tom, can we pull the minutes? We had a couple changes that we need to note.
Okay, so the consent agenda minus the minutes. We have a motion to approve.
Well, I'll just say on the minutes, I think we're sort of missing some things.
Oh, hold on 1 second. We're going on the rest of the consent agenda. I approve the minutes.
Yeah.
Vice President of Work, Secretary's report, and Assistant Treasurer's report. We have a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, go on to sessional approval minutes. So,
I received a couple requests. Bob requests that under the Infomark report that we include that it was requested a recommendation on which pump stations should be prioritized. On page 6, item 13, third paragraph, add the issue of ragging and the education of no website to the language. And then on page 7, item 18, we should clarify the developer's agreement includes the BPW portion of the water line work for $28,000 to be completed by the contractor and reimbursed by the BPW. Also in that section, it needs to be changed that the developer's agreement does not include the sewer relining. That is a separate BPW project and is about to go out to bid.
let's approve the amended minutes.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Let me just say that in general, I think the way that we're doing these now doesn't always pick up like things we say that we're gonna do. We should be conscious of that, pump stations, I realize I seem to have a fixation on pump stations, but,
No,
you know,
that's fine.
but, if Sharon says she's gonna look into something, then that should be, the action item.
We'll make sure we address it with Jackie.
And, just, and the floor recognizes Richard Slang is dismissed. Richard.
Is that your lunch?
He doesn't want to stay for the meeting?
Yes, I think that was the answer. Also, to keep an up-to-date to-do list for these type of actions and other things, because I think we've got so many things on our plate, and some of them
Good idea.
And they have a life of their own. So, I know Robin has been doing that, so. All right, so moving on. So, is there anyone online?
Yeah, Jackie, Chris Keller, and Nate from Metromark.
Okay.
All right, well, let's get the function. We have a call to the public at the beginning of the meeting. Members of the public wishing to address the board on matters listed on the agenda should make their request known at this time. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes. No action or board decision, including to answer, will occur during the public comment period. However, the board president may ask staff to review a matter, and individual members of the board may ask that that matter go to further, on a further agenda. So, moving on. Receive the improvement report.
First off, conversation, I apologize, that was not sent out with the report from last week. The pump station assessment. The only pump station that we're deeming critical right now is in pump station 4. Everything is operating as intended, however, due to the generator situation and the fact that the pumps are technically undersized for peak flows, I would say that that is a critical issue in the address. Last month,
Okay, and given even there's an arrangement with the county at some point in time, that actual work there by the county wouldn't happen for some considerable period of time. So is there something we should do between now and then?
Well, is the temporary generator still there?
the temporary generator is there, however, the temporary generator will only run one pump. As it stands during a rain event and during peak flows, as I was informed by GMB, those pumps as is will not meet peak flows for that pump station. So when we had looked at doing a permanent bypass pump, that pump was rated for 1,550 gallons a minute. I was told that wasn't enough. The current pumps we have there now won't.
So what I'm hearing you say is there's 2 separate issues.
Yes,
Regardless of the power supply situation,
the pumps are
the
still.
pumps are inside.
Yes,
And in the event of a loss of power, we can only run one of the pumps.
yes,
So it's even more of an issue.
yes. But when we had the discussion about the permanent bypass pump, if we were to lose power, we would still have to set up a bypass pump if we had high flow situations, because that generator pump is capable of about 850 to 900 gallons. And there are times during the rain event that we could actually exceed 1,550 to 1,600 gallons a minute. We'll just lose around. So we would have to put in a bypass pump, which would be capable of 1,600 to 1,800 gallons a minute. Now, we've had the discussions at GMB has looked at it. We've had talks about putting in a third pump. We've had talks about increasing the size and replacing both those pumps. And I believe there was also discussion about knocking the rollout and making it one wet well and putting in larger submersible. But I don't believe any decision has been reached this time.
Well, given that it's likely to be, take a number, 5 years or something before somebody else comes out there and starts doing
Yeah, we need to do something.
engineering,
We need to do something.
between the choices of do something within 1 year, do something, do nothing, it's fair to say, what should we do? You know, engineering and
So the bypass pump, I know we discussed this before, but can you just make sure that you're up to speed on, would that bypass pump be able to be used at other pump stations?
So if we were to purchase a permanent bypass pump, it would be very comparable to the pump we have now. That pump can run 4, 8, and 3. It could be used at any of those stations. It would be oversized for many of the other stations, but it could be used at 4, 8, or 3. Which, having 2 pumps would necessarily, if we did have a power outage, if we had a situation where we had that pump running, it would free up the dock we currently have.
So that sounds like maybe a good thing to do, but
the generator couldn't run it if we lost power.
well, you'd need
Yeah,
to pay.
bypass pump just,
The generator.
Oh,
Bypass pump would be diesel, so it would run independently.
So is it fair to say,
looked at the trade.
When we'd had, in my opinion, when we'd had that discussion, that would have been the cheapest and fastest option, but I don't believe it is the most permanent option. So, however, I believe the generator quote came in at $185,000.
I think so.
A new bypass pump would run between $75,000 and $100,000. We could mount it on the pad and have a permanent setup, so that if we lost power or we lost the pumps, the generator would run, or the bypass pump would run and would maintain the station,
for how long?
as long as we had diesel in it.
And is that feasible, or is it, you need to buy a tank as well?
I believe that the current bypass pump will run for 12 hours before we have to refill it.
So stations 3 and 8 have backup power.
Station 8 has
8
backup
does,
power.
not 3, yes.
3 does not.
3 does not.
3 does not.
So we permanently mount the bypass pump, we could not. Just a multi foundation.
If we were to permanently mount the bypass pump we have now, we would not have any way to work at 3. If we were to purchase a new bypass pump to permanently mount, we would still have the Godwin that we currently have that we could take down to 3.
We have obviously a close relationship to the county, and they probably have a bypass pump that we could use in an emergency. I suggest that we talk to Hans about that, and then talk to him going forward in the future months.
We have worked with the county in the past and borrowed bypass pumps. I believe
Yes.
they keep the silent night pumps.
Yes.
And we had a situation, the bypass pump was hooked up for a situation at 4, and they brought it out to use due to a clog in a line.
Yeah.
And we've worked in the past to do that, yes.
I remember, I think it was more than once, actually, that they've done that.
And, it's not like you've had current issues at the county will move because it is a storm event. None of this thing. And that's a totally separate issue.
To think about this? So we just asked that you think about this because Vermont and make a recommendation. Because if you can rely on the county and their, then maybe that's.
Yeah, I can follow up with the county and see the options they have for the bypass.
it just seems like we've been kicking this down the road for a year or so.
And it's gonna last for 5 years or more.
Yeah.
I mean,
And we could have probably purchased 3 or 4 generators by now.
Yeah. Yes. Does GMB have a recommendation on this? A strong recommendation?
Ben Hearn, GMB. I can say everything Jeff's been saying is correct with this current situation at the station. Off the top of my head, I mean, I like the idea with the county. I will say, as part of the pump station resiliency project, we are tasked with designing either a bypass pump or a generator for pump station 3. So, thinking big picture, potentially we could make that a mobile unit that could supply all 3, and maybe that's a method that would get that designed as well as, well, yeah, I guess it wouldn't purchase it, but I'll get it designed for you guys.
How long would that take if you started today?
To design,
Design and get it available.
the delivery of it is a different question. I don't know the delivery, but design, I would say, I'm going on a limb, especially on the electrical side, maybe by January, maybe earlier. I'd have to talk with our electrical consultant on the generator design.
But don't we have to have that report done by March?
We have to have the report done by March, so at a minimum, it's all got to be done by March, but
Yes.
potentially that could be moved up a little quicker.
Well, how about you all say what you think you're gonna do next month? And I will point out that this problem, the numbers you've quoted, are less than what the mayor's gonna fix the fountain with.
Then less than the mayor's gonna what?
Fix the fountain.
We can run
True.
a bypass pump through the fountain.
So, let's just say what we're gonna do. It's,
Well, I think the first option is go to the county, because that would be the cheapest, quickest.
sure, but then I'm
Most
not
of it's
worried
gonna-
anymore and this
But if
isn't
it's
right.
not, then I agree, then we need GMB to work on this. Because we have been punting on this for years.
Understood. Yep.
Okay, and then my,
It's not because we've just been forgetting about it. It's, there's so many trade-offs, but we need to make things move.
But are we looking from the county to be able to utilize a pump or have one brought in? Or just utilize it when needed? Yeah, access, just to guarantee access.
and then I'm gonna ask you what's next on this list.
So that would be to have the county bring, so we do have a pump. We have one. We have one bypass currently. So this would be to have us a backup if we had to run two separate stations simultaneously, correct? Because we do
But
have the
but
Godwin.
we would need something for 4 that's going to be capable of running 4.
The Godwin can run 4.
It can.
It can run 4.
Okay.
So, but the when we'd had the discussion about the bypass pump, it was to have a permanent bypass that we wouldn't have to, because the installation of the Godwin at 4 takes time. We have to drop several lengths of hose down. We have to have a crane. They're too heavy to drop down by hand. So it takes a period of time. If we were to have that happen on a weekend, the time to get 4 guys in who could come in, move the materials over to the pump station and then install it would take time.
What would it take to install permanent piping that we wouldn't have to do that? And then we just have to bring the pump in.
Well, that was the option when we talked about doing the permanent pump. We were going to have the piping installed, have a standpipe installed with a permanent hookup.
Yeah, but why couldn't we do that with?
To temporary.
Or for the Godwin pump that we have?
Could you have the pipes and stuff already there, and then all you have to do is just connect the bypass pump to it? You wouldn't have to do all the.
We could take a look at doing that. Okay, so are we good on the pump stations? Do we have any other questions?
I think as Bob asked, then we get through this one, but then what's next?
The one thing I will say is, as we move forward, the one suggestion that was made is it says on here whether it's in the resiliency study or not, but we could actually separate that out to have 2 separate charts so that you could see the full resiliency study and then everything that's not. So you don't have to go station by station if you guys
That's fine.
think that would be easier.
That's fine, it's just, what's,
Well, yeah.
what are
What
you gonna do to address these?
what I started to do is, as what you asked last month, is I took the information that was on the mitigation, that was given to the mitigation committee about all the pump stations in the floodplain, and took the information that was provided in the report by GMB as far as the ratings for those 16 pumps. And I put them on a spreadsheet and started to, I needed to get with Jeff, or now that we got this assessment, add this to the report somehow so we can prioritize which items, as you asked, what needs to be done first. I mean, I can hand this out, what I've done so far. GMB rated 5 areas of the pump stations. I don't know how many you got there. There might be enough.
That's the condensed version of the 200-page book?
Yes. All it has on it is the rating shows, one area was structure and site, one was wet well and valve vault, one area was piping and valves, one area was venting, one area was lighting, and one area was electric. There's 6. They rated them from a 1 to 5, 5 being very poor, 1 being excellent. I color-coded the 5s and the 4s in red, which are poor, very poor. Looking at the initial, the spreadsheet here, there are 3 that have at least 4 number 4s. That's pump station 33, pump station 74, pump station 83. So, just off the top, initially looking off the top, these would be the most to be prioritized. But that being said, it somewhat goes against what the mitigation committee recommended and the board approved, using the yearly date off of the floodplain elevation. Because those 3 pump stations I just noted, they are in an AE8 and an AE9. So they're not in the corrective date from the mitigation would be 2050 and 2040. So again, there's going to have to be a balance, or we're kind of directed to go with the AE7s first, which was 2030. But some of them are in better shape. So that's just the balance.
I mean, an example of that AE7 for 36 is a brand new pump station.
Correct.
So-
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so you would want to say,
Yeah,
I don't think we really need to do anything that right now. But that kind of goes against what the,
Condition of the stations. And
what was set up with the yearly. But understanding that, if you got a pump station that's really vulnerable and we're really in bad shape, that you should lean to go to that first. But I can take this and add more to it with the Infomart, the assessment that they gave, and talking to Jeff and Ben, we can kind of put something together.
Well, okay, since I sort of keep asking the questions here, I don't care what you do first, just pick them.
Yeah, I just, again, Jeff has to.
All your
Yeah.
engineering.
I wanted to get with Jeff, and Jeff, since he deals with them every day.
Yep.
And then we can come up with, and hopefully by the next meeting, we'll have more details.
Excellent.
So, last month overall was fairly uneventful. We had no call-outs. The coating of the chemical containment area was finished. It took a little longer than expected, but it was finished yesterday. The curing was done today. We have tanks coming in tomorrow and Friday to be installed, and then we'll be having the tanks filled Monday or Tuesday of next week and be back online. The caustic is running off a temporary system right now. The hypo and the citric just aren't being run. We only have those for cleaning cycles. So for the temporary, the weekly cleanings, so we're only down for the week, and we'll be back up and running next week.
I assume you have a temporary weir wall around the temporary caustic tank?
Yes. The Neo water trial is in process right now. The only real hiccup we've had is that we can't get the chemical dosage low enough to get an accurate reading. So we have the pump that was provided turned down to 10%. We're still running through it a little faster than anticipated, but our last phosphorus in-house test came back at a 0.03. which is significantly lower than we're shooting for. So we might actually be needing to use less of it than we initially anticipated, but the pump that we have doesn't seem capable of feeding that low of a rate. So we're going to get all the data from it. Even if we run through it faster than we thought, we would have numbers and we'd be able to say, okay, well, this is what we'll have to dose, and we'll be able to get an accurate estimate on what pump we would need and what the cost would be for that. I've also been in contact with the county. They were running tests, and we know which tests need to be run to avoid the false positive on arsenic. And they were running arsenic testing on our sludge before the trial and during the trial, so they can get numbers and we can know if that's going to be a problem that we need to address moving forward.
Have we known that for a while?
There is the issue is depending on the testing parameter that's used, the testing that the method of testing that they use, the spectrum for the rare earth mineral in the chemical comes back almost identical to arsenic. So if they don't use the right testing method, it can come back as a false positive for arsenic. Because we know that, we know which method we have to use. We spoke to the lab, they're going to use that test, and the county is keeping an eye on things to make sure we don't get that false positive.
Good.
The chemical cleanings were completed on trains 1 and 2. 3 and 4 will be completed after the new chemical tanks are installed. It's a little difficult to run it without the chemicals, so once those tanks are installed, then we will be doing the 3 and 4. We are going to have to swap the membranes from 3 and 4 after the 3 is done. I've been in contact with the gate manufacturer. They got me a quote for the gate. It's going to be at least 12 weeks to get the gate in, but we are probably also going to have to replace the rod and the motor. So the motor doesn't run in automatic, it only runs in hand, and I think there's a possibility that somebody over-torqued it and caused the gate to separate from the wall.
We have to swap membranes.
So that because of the leak on 4, we need to swap the membranes from 4 into train 3 so that we can do a clean on that set of membranes. So we're going to do the clean just for cleaning purposes. So we're going to do the clean and get our recovery clean done, and then we're going to switch those membranes into 4. They'll be fresh, and then we'll take the ones from 4, put them in 3, and then do the cleaning again on 3.
So was the gate actually ordered?
The gate was ordered, but we have to, he's looking to get the rest of the material, or the gate was, he got the quote for the gate, he had to have the additional items added. So the gate was not ordered, but he said it's going to be 12 weeks minimum to get the gate in.
Who would have over-torqued the operator?
I don't know for sure. I have my suspicions. If it's who I believe it is, it's an operator who we released a couple months ago. He's no longer with us.
So this happened a couple of months ago then?
No, this happened probably 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh.
This has been an
this
ongoing
week on,
problem.
Oh,
So it's been getting worse, and I think that it's something that happened. It was leaking slightly. We didn't notice it, and then the leak got progressively worse. So
I thought this was a new issue.
no, sir.
This train was cleaned about a year ago,
Yes.
and even then, it was a trickling.
Yes, there was a trickle, but it wasn't enough to cause an issue. But I suspect that as they were torquing it down, they were, every time it was getting a little bit worse, which is why we need to replace that motor so that we can have set points, so when they raise it up and put it down, it goes exactly where it needs to go, and we don't have that risk.
Yeah, so we've known about this for a while. It's just, we're looking at other options, and
We had a seal to replace that we thought was going to be.
Being over-torqued, I didn't, it sounded like it just happened.
So the situation that Kim had brought up with the water use, we have 2 situations we're addressing. One is we have a leak on the fresh water going to the digester building. We tested the water for chlorine. There is free chlorine in the water, which leads me to believe it's fresh. It's drinking water. It's potable water that's leaking. I spoke with Emmett. They're going to be out Friday to try to dig it up and see if we can repair that. But the leak is fairly decent, so we think that's contributing to some of the water use. The water reuse system, I believe the rust is coming from the bladder tank. So we have an option to bypass the bladder tank. We have a rep coming out in a week and a half, and we're gonna look at what we would have to do to our current system to set it up so we could run it permanently while bypassing that tank. We'd probably have to put in some pressure sensors so that the pump doesn't burn up, and it's gonna try to run off the pressure to supply to the screens. We would also have to tie that into the compactor, because currently that water is only tied into the 2 mil and 5 mil. The compactor is only tied into potable, which was the manufacturer recommendation at the time. But with our effluent, I'm fairly confident we can use our effluent to run the compactor.
The bladder tank, is that the one to the left of the ultraviolet lights?
Yes.
That's good news. I'd like to be able to reuse that water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as I said, we had no call-outs last month. Our biggest events were the train cleanings, and obviously prepping for the chemical coating and tank replacement. We did have broken air lines in the Kubota tank. We found those, we drained the tank, got down in there and repaired the lines. So, I know we had a similar situation. The lines previously that we had a couple months ago were the tubing that connected the air to the Kubota membranes. These were actually the main lines coming in, the steel lines that came in. There were repair clamps that had been put on prior to my time here. The bolts on those clamps rusted away, being in there, so we had to replace the clamps. And other than that, I think that's everything, unless we have any questions.
Any questions from the board? No, I thank you very much. It was a very thorough report, and I have no questions. Russ, anything?
Yeah,
No,
and I don't
I'm good.
either this time. You answered my question about the
And
reuse of the water.
1,807 days without a lost time accident.
Yes, sir.
That's great.
Try to do everything safe. I want everybody to go home the same way they came in. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right, President's report. I had a lovely vacation.
That's enough of that.
Barbara did excellent.
Everybody
With
helped.
that noted, I'm going on vacation again. So I did not attend the September meeting, and Barbara, you and I can take the first item on the agenda.
What was that?
Because your name is on there.
Oh, yeah, that was just a holdover. That was a typo.
So we've continued negotiations with the county on the wastewater treatment plant. And as everyone should know or want to make notice of, next Tuesday, October 28th at 5:30 in the Bonnie Osler meeting room, we will be holding our 7th workshop to bring the public up to speed on the negotiations with the county, the options, the costs, and next steps. So I encourage everyone, and there's a flyer out, it's on our website on the homepage, that to come out and give us your comments. We had a meeting with the city over the critical infrastructure projects and came to some agreements on how to integrate both our and the city's infrastructure projects. Attended the dedication of the Bonnie Osler room, and just speaking personally, I knew Bonnie as both a compatriot and a friend, and the attendance was suitable, was perfect for what she wanted, and her wife and family were down, and it was a phenomenal experience, and the world needs more body hostlers. We don't know, we didn't always agree, but we agreed in an agreeable way. And then we went out and had dinner. So, I really can't say enough about the woman. Attended mayor and city council, the leadership meeting with the city, and the other plug is for October 25th is our hazardous waste, and the city will be running drug take back day at the Schley Avenue facility, and we encourage everyone to come out, bring their hazardous waste. The one thing I want to do note, every year I get the same question, latex paint is not a hazardous waste. The best thing to do with it is just take the cover off, if there's a little bit in there, or throw some cat litter in it and let it harden, and then it can go into the regular trash. We take oil, varnish, lacquers, but latex paint doesn't qualify, and it also isn't compatible with the incinerators that are used to burn the hazardous waste. And we want to see your drugs. Last year, I think we got 7 boxes.
Yeah.
It was a record number. So we really do want to get that stuff off the street.
A lot of it was aspirin and Malox and,
Well, it's from people who passed on.
Yes,
and,
yeah.
And also, the way they just, what's that?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
A lot of it is the overprescription of medications
yeah.
by doctors. So, all right. That's all I had. I'm going to turn it over to esteemed Robin Davis.
Okay, I'm not gonna go in some of the meetings that Tom referenced, we were both at, so there's no sense in going over it again. One of the things is, along with some of the staff, Sharon, Barbara, Patrick, and Joey, we participated in the same city community day. Great event for the half day going out there. It was a nice day.
Yeah,
So
it
it was enjoyable. We had a meeting, Mike, myself, and Sharon. We went with John Pardee, discussed the electrical easement for Donovan Smith. Hopefully, we're making progress on that.
We are.
Yep.
That's moving forward.
Met with our monthly meeting with the Burton subdivision representatives to discuss the 4th Street Park Avenue project. Attended the Capes Cove pre-construction meeting. Also attended the Overlook Alaska Avenue pre-construction meeting. And we met with a representative from AT&T about the state park
Yes.
cell tower. They got a temporary cell tower out there now, and the way the electric's hooked up to it, the state park is kind of, they don't want to be paying the electric bill. They want it to go directly to AT&T, so we're working to try to see how they're going to have to change the power around.
The notes on that say Delaware State Park. Did you mean Cape Henlopen?
Yeah, it's Cape and Loop State Park,
okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
As far as some of our projects, the canal crossing and the header pipe project, as far as the canal crossing, they're finalizing all the punch list items. They're working with the city on the tree replacement that were mistakenly cut down. The contractor told us on the header project that they're done with the punch list items now, finally. And so hopefully we can do a final walkthrough, and hopefully that'll be taken care of and finalized. The contractor noted that they'll be, for the elevated storage tank, they'll be back on site probably, now they're looking at November, late November, December timeframe. Again, they said that they're still going to meet their deadline. They're aware of the penalties if you don't. So we hope for the best.
So on the header pipe, have Have you run all 5 pumps together yet?
Yeah, I think they've run them, I don't know if they do it, they have run them all, I think all of them one time.
And the flow rates compared to before?
They've gone up, yeah.
You know
Yeah.
it?
Mm.
Right.
Is it little, a lot? You know?
I don't know if I have the exact numbers. I can find out from Eric.
That would be really interesting to know, because we had a lot of discussion about that and a lot of guessing how much it would change things. And how did the pipe look? Did you see, a good look at it? Okay. Yeah, be good. Could you get some information on that? That would be interesting.
Yeah,
Had a lot to do with the sizing of the tank, as I remember.
right.
Some additional events. We have our biannual hydrant flushing happen today and tomorrow. We also have our BPW City Joint Workshop on Monday, 1 o'clock in the Bonnie Osler meeting room. As far as some of our bigger projects, the 4th Street Park Avenue, I'll talk at agenda item number 10. Hornkill project, we got the draft concept plan reviewed that GMB submitted back, sent it back to GMB. They're incorporating the comments. They're working on the final design of the plan right now. Hopefully get out for permitting and then awarding the bids, hopefully beginning of next year. And estimated completion sometime in the August-October timeframe of 26. The city has asked that we attend the November 10th public hearing for the annexation to give the residents some details about the project. I mentioned Capes Cove. We have pre-construction. Hopefully we'll be setting the notice to proceed for the project. And estimated completion date is probably June, July of 2026. Also having additional conversations with the Hertrick Collision Center, the next door neighbor, about supplying water and sewer to that property also. It was kind of incorporated in the bid alternate C, about if we were looking to run, we talked about it when we awarded the bid. We didn't do that portion. That was running the main in front of the property, that the easement they gave us. The board decided not to go with that option, the extra option now for future, if any of the vacant properties next door wanted to potentially get service.
So is Richard interested in it?
They have been interested. Richard Prez, who owned it previously, he was the one that actually started the conversation with Austin. We had to go out and get the water CPCN for it. Got that approved as when we did Capes Cove and several others.
How about the sewer?
Yep, yep. They want water and sewer out there.
I noticed they had a sand mound out back.
That's the biggest thing. Mr. Prez was always concerned, he said, because they oversized it when they designed it, and they need parking.
Yeah, they can get a lot of their lot back.
Yeah, that's what he said, yeah. So, again, there's discussion as far as the easement of how the water and the water and sewer are supposed to be divvied up, but I'm having conversations with them. I think that's all on my end for that.
Okay, all right. Next up is finance manager's report. Kim?
All right, this presentation is for September, so we are halfway through the year. For September revenue and expenses, this is the first month that we underperformed overall for operating revenue. That is 77% in water. If you remember, the end of summer was very nice and mild. So that's what we think is affecting that with the electric usage and water usage. Operating expenses are also under budget. It puts us at about $10,000 under budget for operating income, and thanks to a $15,000 gain in change in market value, overall we actually slightly beat the budget. There's a couple lines I just wanted to point out. Repairs and maintenance for water We ordered some parts for the DuPont flusher repair. We did a stone order, and we ordered all new traffic cones. For the stormwater, we did order the storm drain for the pipe at Overfalls. For line 26, grants and assistance, this is going to include 4th Street and Hornkill planning grants and the emerging contaminants grant. That it's less than what was set up in the budget. And for the rest of the year, I do have $30,600 set up every month. So there might be some months that are going to be up, down as we get further into the project. We'll have more reimbursement. So that might be notes that you see throughout the year. And then if I move on to year to date, overall our revenues are 2% higher than budget, and expenses are 2.7% less than budgeted. Our non-operating revenues are up 5.6% if we do not count the grant assistance and the change in market value. If you remember, with the grant assistance, I had it in there for Donovan Smith to have the principal forgiveness, but we have not been granted that yet. There's really no new notes on this report that you haven't seen or heard yet. And then next I have Q2 report, and that was the one that was just given to you. This runs July 1st through September 30th. We had a great quarter. The revenues are higher and expenses are lower than budget and last year. Noteworthy things that happened: we received the $200,000 in the Indian River settlement. Our purchase power rates and usage are down, so this will be the highest impact because it's usually when we buy the most. Followed by Q4 is our second biggest purchase.
Why is purchase power, why is electric usage, why is the rate down?
The purchase power is down because DMEC. DMEC was able to reduce costs through, through.
Good for DMAC.
Yes.
How much?
It's 2.8%, I believe. So it's not like gigantic or anything, but hey, we'll take it. So if you've actually looked at the electric bills, you have seen that on your power cost adjustment, that it's been going down a little bit by a little bit every month.
Negative, not positive. That's the good news.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the high water usage at the high school, Zwinendale Park, and the wastewater treatment plant. If you look at the bottom line, it looks a little off, and that's because of the Donovan Smith principal forgiveness, which we are still expecting this fiscal year. And from there, I will go to budget projections. For 5-year capital, line 1 for Alaska Avenue, that changed from $110,000 to $28,000. And line 14, water office building improvements, we added $35,000 for next fiscal year. I'm not looking for a formal budget adjustment. It's just to show the update of those two things that I know for sure are changing. For the O&M, I am presenting the year-to-date plus the projected budget remaining for the year. And there are a couple that I'm asking for a budget revision for the water usage that we spoke about earlier. That's already happened. We know that's going to be there, and that is industrial and municipal water and sewer, and Board of Public Works water.
Now, if we start reusing the treated wastewater, then the
Water
Board of Public
usage should go
Works
down.
will go down, right? And we'll adjust it again later, or if that happens, or?
Yes, we can. That it'll be adjusted. Or you can also make a suggestion that we don't adjust it until that happens.
Or are you just taking what happened in the first 6 months and
project.
capturing it
Yeah.
and leaving the rest the same.
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing?
Yes. But if we could possibly be lowering water usage.
Yes. It's interesting because that comes under revenue, and yet we pay for it.
But then you see it in the utilities line, line 11, under wastewater treatment plant, or under sewer,
Yeah, yeah,
as an expense.
yeah. So maybe we don't want to predict revenue that we're not gonna, hopefully not gonna have. I don't know.
Which is perfectly fine that I can take that off of there as an
Do
adjustment.
others have a feeling for that?
Why
Well,
would it not
Richard?
be a revenue? Why is it not a revenue or potential revenue?
Oh,
It's
the,
unknown.
yeah, it's an unknown. It's the use of the fresh water, potable water they're using now for the header screen, whatever.
Edwards.
Headworks, yes. And they were told to use potable water, and when they tried using the treated water, they were getting rust, and it shut down the headworks. So they've discovered the cause of the rust, and they can bypass that and use our treated water in the headworks, and therefore, you know, Infomark won't be charging us for, or paying us for water that we then have to.
So what's in yellow is the potable water revenue.
Potable, yes, yes.
And if Infomark is successful in using the treated water, these numbers go to zero?
No, not to zero, because they still need
They still need.
Yeah.
potable water throughout the plant, yeah, other places.
Yeah, it wouldn't go to zero, but it could possibly be lower than what was previously budgeted.
Half?
Right. I couldn't
More
tell you.
like what we used last year, I guess, for the remainder
So-
of the year, yeah.
Except it's apples and apples, because it's totally new headworks.
Yeah, right,
And we have a-
right.
So
That's
it
right.
seems like it's jumping the gun to forecast something when we don't know what that number would be versus get another month run or get a month of run on the new treated water use and then adjust the budget.
Okay.
Right.
So leave it highlighted,
Yeah,
whatever number is, just to remind us, you know, what's going on.
But not as an actual formal budget adjustment.
right,
Okay.
just for that one.
Yeah.
I think so.
And as you can
Paying
see,
attention to you. I was thinking about something else.
as you can see with projections, we are expected to have more revenue. Our expenses to be a little less than last year, or than our budget, and our bottom line to be about $300,000 more than projected. Those are the only ones that I requested, is because the things already happened. And with unknowns of hiring maybe new water staff, new electric staff, administrative or executive assistant, the pump stations, what work we're going to do on pump stations, of what's going to be an asset, what's going to be O&M, that just I don't want to adjust those not knowing.
Do we have any vacancies now?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
Lots?
Yeah. One in water, one in electric, and one in admin.
And anticipated ads?
They're all out there.
Do you meet additional employees?
Do you have plans?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've posted the job postings, we've got interviews set up.
The electrical is not an ad. it's a replacement for something.
Yeah, I'm saying, do you have
New positions.
new staff
In-
people that you're adding over and above replacements, is my question.
The
Water,
water's an ad.
yes.
The water's an ad.
Yes,
The other
it's
two are
just the water.
But one is not.
Yeah. Two's to fill in, and one's a new hire, new ad.
I speak Bob. I speak Bob.
And that's all I have. I'm just looking for a motion to amend the budget for industrial and municipal water and sewer.
So
not.
moved. Oh,
Or not.
Or not.
I move that we adjust for industrial, municipal, water, and sewer.
A second?
I'll second.
Why? Why only those?
Oh, because we're going to watch the BPW one until,
So I thought we were holding pattern for another month.
for the BPW,
Yes, the BPW
Yeah.
one.
just that one.
The other two would be adjusted.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Second.
Third.
Bob Lee, second. Bob Lee.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, moving on. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda. Old business. Wastewater treatment plan, long-range plan, update. I think I gave most of it in my preamble. So we've continued negotiations with the county. Next Tuesday, the 25th, no, 28th, I'm sorry, we will be holding a public workshop at the Bonnie Osler Meeting Room. And we've got a slide presentation, and we encourage the public to come out and express their voice on the way forward. So, not much other detail than that.
Right.
Can I just ask how you're letting residents know about that?
Oh,
I know there's a flyer.
so there's a flyer out. There will be something in the Cape Gazette, and we've asked that it be put on the city website.
Okay, do you want us to do an alert, our news alerts where we send out?
I've got one scheduled for Friday.
Okay, good.
Yep.
I think I'm
Yep.
seeing that that's our best way.
Yep.
So it's,
Yep, it's already
not everybody's
scheduled.
coming. Good,
And it should be in Friday's Cape Gazette
Perfect.
also. So,
great.
Okay.
and, open forum general discussion on the update on 4th Street project and Burton neighborhood. Robin?
Okay, got a little bit of an update. Again, as I said last month, GMB has submitted the plan of the existing infrastructure in the area. Staff has reviewed that and sent those comments back to GMB. The contractor doing the cameraing, the CCTV of the existing sewer and stormwater lines, that's all completed. That was done to evaluate the size and the conditions of those pipes. And maybe the possibility of relining if possible instead of replacement of those pipes. The preliminary data seems to suggest we might get lucky and not have to do anything to the sewer line. But GMB is going to have to just kind of follow back up on that, and that's just kind of
On which sewer line?
the sewer line on any of the sewer line on 4th Street or Park. Both? Okay. So that might be a good thing because the sewer line might not have to be touched for that project. But
But it will be fine.
no, maybe
Oh,
not
not
even,
even
may not
line?
have to line it. That's preliminary, so we'll,
Is it PVC? Yeah.
Oh, the whole thing, including park? Oh, okay.
Wow.
Now, You don't believe that's true on Painter, Burton, and Johnson, correct?
I've been heard from GB. I do think it is potential that is PVC. I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to look at those plans. But I think it was put in a similar time frame, but that doesn't mean it's not in, there could be something wrong with it. And I will say there may be some slight adjustments we need to make in certain areas on the sewer to work things out, but the majority of it, potentially preliminary, is looking like you don't have to touch it.
You still have the major stormwater.
Oh, for sure. The stormwater
Yeah.
and the water are big items.
Yeah, the stormwater is probably going to have to at least be replaced because of the sizing, and there's going to be additional catch basins that are needed. So,
Can I
But-
ask, when do you think you will know that definitively? In terms of the wastewater lines?
I would say we got to talk with Robin about it, and probably this week or next week.
Okay.
3 weeks.
I'm just thinking about the joint
but that could be a
meeting.
good thing for the joint
At the
meeting if
joint
that could
meeting,
be,
It
yeah.
would be good
crap.
to
Yeah.
either to say or say, we will know this in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We just don't want to make sure we don't give anybody any
Alright.
false hopes.
absolutely.
And, good news is always great, yes.
Yeah, as long as it holds.
But other than that, GMB feels that we're still on schedule. They're moving forwards with the design. Hopefully beginning maybe March, April next year, go out for permitting, advertise the bids, and then start construction fall 2026. Still estimated completion date of July of 2028. We did get 2 of the samples. The GMB has the coupons, the pipe samples. Still looking to try to get Johnson. But along with that, with the data, sampling, some of the concerns about the condition of the water, we'll do assessment to see if there's any potential for, to reevaluate the projects for the other parts of the Burton neighborhood. So at this point, we'll just kind of keep moving on and hopefully evaluate with our priorities and maybe be able to come up with a solution. And probably have a little bit more of an update at the joint meeting.
New business. Open forum and discussion on Hornkill Avenue memorandum of understanding.
Currently, the city has the copy that was sent to them. Ellen Rain has it. I think she said Alex, their legal counsel, is looking at it. He's looking into the area of the principal forgiveness portion of it. So at this point, we've not heard anything back from the city, so we don't want to go forward in case anything changes on that.
Do we have a schedule from the city on?
Last we heard from Ellen Rain was that Alex was looking into it.
We'll follow up. Yep.
Open forum general discussion on developers agreement for White's Pond Preserve.
This is a 13-lot subdivision out there off of Freeman Highway, next to Waits Pond Meadows and Gibbs Commercial. The plans were looked at and approved by the city on September 8th. So to get moving with the project, this is just our standard development agreement. It has been reviewed by staff and legal counsel. Looks to be okay. It's being reviewed by the city at this point also, because their city has a section of it in here that you'll see. But if the board wants to move forward with approval, we can, as we've done in the past, move forward with approval contingent upon the city approving it.
I have a question on page 4, on 2.8. Middle of the paragraph said about easement access, including but not limited to. What's not limited to about?
it is intentionally drafted to be broad, and the reason for that is as they go through the project, we want to make clear that when the project is complete and the board comes back with the acceptance process, what 2.8 says is any and all easements that are required for that project must be granted to the board. And we want to make sure that's broad to encompass whatever the utilities may end up being.
So is it possible that Comcast or somebody that, vendor wants to use the easement that they'll buy or pay for? Is it that?
No, it's BPW utilities. So the easements would be broad for any BPW utility.
So stormwater, I didn't see stormwater in there.
Only if there's a component of the project that includes a stormwater piece that is being taken over by the board.
And then on page 8, the highlighted yellow
Yes.
bond business. Does that stay in there or what?
Anything in section 3 is completely the city.
City.
So we don't look at it or review it on our end.
Never mind.
Any other questions, discussion?
Nope.
So, we'll have a motion to approve our portion of the agreement contingent upon the city.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So it's the 22nd. You see, I'm in the right month now.
About time.
Not the right year, I'm not sure. Open forum and general discussion on setting dates for the November, December board meeting. Robin.
Has been standard practice. You normally are meeting that is combined for November, December because of the holidays and how our normal meeting dates fall into play. I think the open date that everybody was happy with was November 10th.
December.
Oh, December 10th.
December.
December
December
10th.
10th.
Now I'm in the
Yeah,
wrong month.
geez, what are you
Thanks,
doing?
Tom.
December 10th.
December 10th, 4 o'clock, right
4
here.
o'clock.
Same that channel. And of course, we can always have emergency executive sessions and board meetings as necessary in the interim with the proper notice. Okay.
That don't need to be a motion or anything like that?
Nope.
Okay.
Item 14, open forum, general discussion on developers agreement for new road. This is Robin and Mike.
As you can see, there's no supporting documentation here. We're still working with the owner on the development agreement. This is the single lot property that was on New Road just before Canary Creek on the right, that the board several months ago approved to serve water and sewer to the property. We did get the approved for the CPCN for the water at the last Public Service Commission meeting on October 15th. The property owner is going to be installing the lines, and then they'll be turning them over to the BPW. That's the water and the sewer. The development agreement is required since they're doing that work for us. Normal, just a standard agreement like we just signed for White's Pond. Since there might be a little bit of changes to it, since this is just a single lot, one of the biggest things like the escrow money that we need, we potentially could drop it down. They requested, the owners requested a couple changes that we're going through. That's why it's not ready. We responded back. Mike's looked at it. Once we get comments from them, if there's any requested changes, then we'll have to bring it before the board to see if the modifications will get approved. So just wanted to keep it on there as an update.
Updated, the update. Open discussion on BPW's participation in Lewes
50.
250.
Well, you can say semi-quincentennial if it's easier.
So, we've been approached by the city and the DPW, the Lewes 250 committee to participate. And we're considering several options. And, one of them would be to provide a lecture in April on electricity, harkening back to Ben Franklin, since it's the only one of our utilities that go back that far. And then some other potential things that we're still looking into, so. And I'll have more for everyone to discuss on the next board meeting.
Sure.
Well, if it's on electricity, would that be a free electricity day?
I'm sorry. Can our finance committee members repeat that question? Or maybe I should turn to press.
Why
How do you
me?
feel about giving free electricity?
Why? Because I'm the oldest? Is that what it is? I didn't know Ben.
You didn't know Ben well.
You know Ben's son.
Do you think people might be interested in a tour of the wastewater treatment plant?
It's not 250 years old.
No.
No, but that's fine. I mean, we're doing it, the 250, obviously there's lots in colonial time, but it's what have we done over the 250 years? So you
Well,
don't,
actually,
Instead of outhouses, we have.
Baca houses. We used to do them, and actually, given the condition that Infomark's got the plant
Yeah.
in now, I think independent of the 250, we should probably encourage that. Do a
Yeah.
hazardous waste day, let's go visit the ship.
it's catchy.
Minutes reflect.
Yeah.
No. Why don't you, Robin and Sharon, why don't you think about that? And
We can, yeah.
I mean, there's nothing to see at the water plant, really, so. Yeah.
But I think, I think it's a lot about what was it like before we had
Right.
electricity and municipal wastewater? What was it like? How did people in Lewes get their water? What did they do with their sewage? That's part of the field too. You could do a little bit of a history as well.
We could build an outhouse.
Good.
well, we could
Really?
convert Santa's house into this. All right, enough frivolity.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so, call to the public. So, I'm not gonna repeat
Yeah.
the same thing I said at the beginning, but, is there any?
You missed
No.
one.
Board or staff
Board
request?
request for meeting items. So, anything anyone wants on the next agenda? Once again, it doesn't have to be now. You can submit them to Robin and Sharon.
Okay, well, I would suggest that we know a lot about what Infomark does. We know less about what some of our own employees do. I mean, an example being how many days since our last lost time accident. We get, reams of paper about check this, check that, signed off on this. Maybe there ought to be a register of, we have some authorization levels, so things Robin signs off, and I think your limit is $10,000 or something, Robin?
It's 50, yeah. 50.
Well,
But it's already documented.
Yeah. Do we have any policy documents that are undergoing revision now?
there's a policy that says finance policy about expenditures over a certain amount need another signature. So I guess I'm asking, is there a, should we see those things? The same way Barbara's able to pick up the price of a magnet out of, Infomark, is it worth knowing what some of those other things are doing? Or work orders, major work orders, or that's doing these things,
When we go back to, what we go by is the charter and the policies booklet.
Understand.
And the policy booklet has Robin's authorization levels and all the rest of that in it. So maybe what you're asking for is an updated training session on the policies and procedures.
No, I'm not asking for an updated training session. I'm asking for ongoing information about what our own employees are doing.
You mean the daily activities?
Yeah. Maybe you know that because you're involved in it, but yeah, I'm talking about
Well, I think
call outs on this. I mean, we have on the front end, every phone call that comes in that gets an answer, we know what that is. But, we got this many call outs, we fixed them up, or we didn't. Major projects in the electric department are.
Well, I like the idea of number of days lost since the lost time. That to me should be something that we highlight every month. But
Just to point out, so the agenda item here is agenda items for future board meetings.
Yeah.
So to the extent that Bob is asking for a revision to the general manager's report, including more information, then Robin can report back on that. To the extent that Bob's asking for inclusion of specific items, then that would be an agenda item where you would discuss what it is. So I think Bob has put that out there, and then staff can come back either incorporating it in the report, or if it needs to be an agenda item as far as what you want to see, then that's where the discussion would happen.
But I think it would also be acceptable for Bob to work directly with Robin and Sharon.
Sure.
But
just
you're
can't
absolutely
discuss
right.
it.
You're absolutely right. We're going too far afield. All right, so. Do I have permission to move on?
I just want to say, we forgot the city's also doing shredding on the Saturday too.
Oh, they
Shredding
are?
paper, yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Same time?
same time,
Yep, same time. 10 to 2.
10 to 2.
10 to 2.
Is there a
10 to
limit?
1.
10 to
There
1.
is a limit, I think it's 4 boxes.
That sounds,
It's
2 boxes?
Two boxes.
2 boxes, reasonable size boxes.
I got 8 boxes.
That's why I said reasonable. It's like your annual kitty litter conversation.
But that's going to be a Slay Avenue also.
Yes, yes.
that's nice.
No, it's not?
Nice, nice.
Oh, okay. All right. The call to the public. I'm not going to reread the statement because there's no public, other than Madeline, nice to see you. Call to press. Bill was not able to make it tonight, but he and I talked before. He's going to listen to the meeting minutes. And then, so, we'll have a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
We're going to take a
yes.
picnic break first.
So tell me about your
No,
dog.
The Baca House. I'm going to go outside the door.